vlog. It's going to be an exciting one and a fun one. I'm finally jumping on the bandwagon and reading When the Day Comes by Gabrielle Meyer. This is the first book in the Timeless series. I have the first 3 on my shelves. The 4th one I know is coming out later this year, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna have pirates in it, which is so exciting. I am so looking forward to reading this book. I know it's really popular in the Christian fiction reading world, and it has really good ratings, and like all the people I follow have been reading this and enjoying it very much. And the premise of this book is like right up my alley. I need to read it and know everything about it. I'm gonna go ahead and read the synopsis for you on the back. Libby has been given a powerful gift to live one life in 1774 colonial Williamsburg and the other in 1914 Gilded Age New York City. When she falls asleep in one life, she wakes up in the other. While she's the same person at her core in both times, she's leading 2 vastly different lives. In colonial Williamsburg, Libby is a public printer for the House of Burgesses and the royal governor, trying to provide for her family and support the patriot cause. That's my dog, I'm sorry. The man she loves, Henry Montgomery, has his own secrets. As the revolution draws near, both their lives and any hope of love are put in jeopardy. Puka, I'm trying to read the synopsis. Can you some more another time? Libby's life in 1914 New York is filled with wealth, drawing room conversations, and bachelors. But the only work she cares about, women's suffrage, is discouraged, and her mother is intent on marrying her off to an English marquis? I don't know. The growing talk of war in Europe only complicates matters, but Libby knows she's not destined to live 2 lives forever. On her 21st birthday, she must choose one path. And forfeit the other. But how can she choose when she has so much to lose in each life? I need to know. I need to read this book. It is so cool. This just like this premise and idea, and the fact that it's like a series, and like each book is a different girl, because I'm pretty sure, I'm guessing it's different generations. So like I'm guessing maybe she has a daughter, and then I don't know, something like that. So I'm just so excited to understand all of this and to just see how this plays out. I'm going to bring you all along with me, share my thoughts on this, because I'm pretty sure this will most likely be a 5-star read or a very high rating. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and start reading this book. For all of you, this is Puka. He's sleeping behind me right now. It's been 3 days and I'm only on page 80. But I am thoroughly enjoying this so far. I'm definitely hooked in and am ready to just dive and read a big chunk of it this weekend. I got my hair done today, by the way, and so I feel really nice. But thoughts so far: absolutely love this. The premise of this book is so freaking cool, and I think Gabrielle Meyer is doing a really good job. I love her writing so far, and I'm also really enjoying Libby's character. Another thing I realized is I've actually never read a book before set in the colonial era, and I'm really liking that. Like, I'm now wanting to find other historical fiction books set in the colonial era. It's just a vibe and I've been missing it. So I'm really enjoying that part. Let me think. Other thoughts. I just like could not imagine actually living a life like that, like where you are living 2 different lives back and forth, and then eventually one day you have to decide which one to choose. And especially with Libby, one of her lives, she absolutely does not like her mother in that life is horrible to her and doesn't care about her and is just using her to get up in the social status. And but then you have her mom, who's also a time crosser in the colonial era, who is like this loving lady and who's helping her through all of this because she knows what it's like to be a time crosser. And actually that's the term, time crosser, not time traveler. They're time crossers, which just makes sense for it to be a different term. So I like that. I'm just excited to see more of the faith in this book and how Gabrielle Meyer like writes that in here with this storyline. Also, this book is touching a lot on women's rights. Obviously in 1774 women's rights weren't really a thing, and then in 1914 they still weren't, but it was that was like right when women's suffrage was happening, and like the work for that and work for women getting the right to vote. And so it's touching a lot on that. But I really like how Gabrielle Meyer is handling it, because she's not coming at like, it's not coming at it with like a feminist loud point of view. It's just like, you know, we're women, we're also deserving of rights. It's not coming at it like, oh, men suck and women are better, you know what I mean? So I'm really liking that and how she's handling that part of it. It's just like, you know, we have rights too, we're humans too. That's it. It's not, oh, we're better than or more than men or men suck. It's just we're women, we're a human being, and we have rights too, and we have minds too. Like, it's not just the other one sex who has that. So I'm really liking how she's handling that, and I'm just really I just want to just sit here and read this book. It definitely has me hooked. It's just I haven't been able to have a lot of time to read, but I'm going to sit here and read for a bit before I have to do some evening chores, and then try and sit down and read as much as I can tonight. Welcome to another update in my car. This is Genevieve. That's a box I need to take out of my car, so just ignore that. But I have a reading update. I'm on page, I believe, exactly 187, but near 200. I'm almost to the 200 mark. Woo-woo! I'm still thoroughly loving this book. It is so much fun. But first, I do just think I need to put out there that there is mention of marital rape in this book. It is very brief. It does not go into explicit or any kind of detail. It's just mentioned, like, this is what happened to me, and it was pretty much over real quick. So no detail, nothing explicit or anything like that, but I just felt like I should mention it. So thoughts. I'm starting to really like the romance between Henry and Libby. Well, romance, I mean, nothing's really happened yet, but just like the feelings and like the wants and desires between them and the interactions, I'm starting to really enjoy it. The reason I wasn't kind of in the beginning is because Libby's already in love with him. They were like friends, they've been like friends since they were kids, so it was already kind of there. So it wasn't like anything built up, which is what I really enjoy, is like the building up of feelings towards one another. So it was just there, so I didn't really have a connection to it at all yet, but I'm starting to get there. I'm starting to like the connections and little interactions between them. I think they're adorable. I like don't know how this book is gonna go, guys. I'm like, oh, she's gonna choose this path, or like, but I literally don't know. Like, so much is like, there's still so many things that could possibly happen, and like we're expecting to happen, and like I do not know how Gabrielle Meyer is gonna do things, and I'm really enjoying that, which is making me like want to keep reading it. Honestly, if I did not have so many responsibilities and other things I had to like do, I would would just sit down and read this book and probably be done with it by now, but you know, life is life, so sadly I can't just sit and read all the time. Other thoughts. Oh, there's so much history in this book, so if you really love history, this is a book for you, because there's been mentions of the sister ship to the Titanic, RMS Olympic. Libby was on that in her 1914 path, and of course in the 1774 path, which I'm loving that era. Like I've said previously in this video, I've never read a book in the colonial era, and I'm enjoying it so much. But right in that year, you're right before the revolution is happening, and so there's all of that happening, and like you're in Virginia, which is like where a lot of it took place and like started, so much of that is going on, and like that's really like part of the premise in that era, in that timeline. I feel like there was another thing that I really like that she mentioned historical wise, but it's not coming to my brain right now. But there's so much history in this book, it's so cool. Oh, that's the thing, is 1914, your World War I is just now been, what's the word, declared, that's the word. World War I has just been declared in England, and Libby's now there, so all of that's happening. So it's just so much history in one book, and I'm just loving, like, especially like the sister ship to the Titanic, like how that was just like brought in. I was like not expecting that, so I was like, Gabrielle Meyer, you are so cool, like, top hat off to you, you're so good at this. The faith has been really good so far. I'm really enjoying that. There's like prayer in it, and Libby's mom in her 1774 path praying for her, and I really also liked, something that I really liked was Libby when she was going through like all these thoughts and feelings, and just being discouraged. She recited scripture to herself, and I just really like that, because I just think, especially for me, that's something I need to work on. But all Christians, just standing on God's word, even when our feelings and our thoughts don't align with it, and like our circumstances are wanting us to say otherwise, but just saying, like, no, like we're standing on the truth of God, and His promises are true, and He will never leave us nor forsake us, and just His promises, and just reciting His word, because it's just really good to implant that on our hearts and to say it out loud. So I just really enjoyed that. So yeah, I think that's all the updates I have now so far. Right now I'm currently driving to the barn. I have a riding lesson with my horse Sunny, and I do want to make a video with Sunny, like sharing my story getting him, because I'm a first time horse owner, I'm still a beginner, and so this has just been all a journey. I've only had him for like about 2 months now, so but he's a little stinker, and I love him, and God is definitely growing me in a lot of ways through this. So I do want to share like our story and stuff, so I want to make like an exclusive video for that, and maybe sharing like all the things I got him, like what I got for my first horse, because I think that'd be helpful to other people, because I know I watched a lot of videos when I was looking at what things I needed to get, so I just think that would be fun to do. But anyway, I will talk to y'all soon. Since I've updated for this video, you might hear my little brother. Yeah, you can definitely hear him right now. He is the room next to me, and he is having a good old time right now. But I finished When the Day Comes. I actually finished it a while ago now. I've been reading a book on my Kindle, and I have a whole video for that. It should be after this one. But this is 5 stars. Shocker, shocker. I actually for a moment thought I would have given it 4.5 stars, but I'll explain that in a minute. But it did take me a couple of weeks to finish this book. Nothing to do with this book, it's just life, guys, life. So good. So of course my favorite thing about this book was just the story itself, like the time crossing and just how unique that was, and the time periods. And I have found so many other books now set in colonial era that I really want to read, which is a goal, because this book made me realize how much I've been missing that. And I loved Libby's character. She was a very strong character, but she was not perfect by any means, but she was strong and she was kind and had faith, and I just really enjoyed her character throughout the story. She does struggle. This book can be a little kind of depressive because she is going through a lot, like, and just you have these two different lives. One, for her, she absolutely didn't want to live in, and she's going through a lot in that life. She knew what life she wanted to live in, but just everything going on and just the pain and the confusion and all of that. And so her thoughts can be a little depressive, but and not actually not her thoughts not being depressive, but just like it's heavy because she's obviously dealing with heavy things. So there is that to take into consideration. And there was a second mention of marital rape. So there's 2 overall in this book. It does not go into any explicit or any kind of detail at all. It's very brief. I loved Libby's mother and her mama and her 1775 path. She was just a very admirable character and a strong woman of faith, and just someone I would hope to be to my own daughters or kids growing up. She prayed for her Libby and was just there for Libby and had wisdom when Libby needed it, and I just really loved that. So the reason I thought for a moment it was going to be 4.5 stars, and honestly I think it was mainly me, because like I said, it took me a couple weeks to finish this book just due to life circumstances, and because of that I think I just found myself getting bored with the narrative because it is first person and it's repetitive but not repetitive at the same time. It's first person, so take that as you want. But I just kind of found myself getting kind of bored of that, but I think it's really just because of how long it took me to read the book just based on circumstances, and so I probably just naturally got tired of that. But honestly it really didn't. If it wasn't for that, I don't think it would have bothered me at all, because I actually really enjoyed reading from Libby's perspective and from the how it was written. So I just think it was based on that ideal. So it was just really that. And then honestly, okay, I can't give away much because spoilers obviously, and I don't want this to be a spoiler review, but for a moment I was like, this is really how it ends for Libby. This is the life, this is how it ends for her. I'm not okay with this, and like that's why I was going for a 4.5. But then the twist guys. My eyes are probably watering because that's what happens when I get excited, and so I get excited thinking about this. Oh my gosh, I have mascara on and I just rubbed my eye. That's all I can say. But the twist, it had me teary-eyed, it had me giggling, it had me so happy and like emotional, and it was just beautiful. The ending of this book was phenomenally beautiful. Yeah. Just thinking about it now. Okay. So good. So good. And like that was the thing. I know I talked about that like a couple clips ago, was saying how like I don't know how this book is gonna go. Like I'm trying to figure it out in my head, because obviously that's natural. I was trying to figure it out, like what path is she gonna choose, what's gonna happen. But honestly I really couldn't at all. And then things just happened, and like just things went, and that was when I was like, wow, this is kind of disappointing, and like that's what this book this is how it ends for her. But then the twist, and like the twist was nothing at all that I thought of. Gabrielle Meyer has, I give her all the awards, because this was amazing, and I'm so excited to continue on with the series. She actually announced the 5th book, and it's coming out in 2025, and I read the synopsis for it. It's on her Instagram. It's not on Goodreads, so if you want to know the title and the synopsis, go to her Instagram. But guys, the 5th book is gonna have Jack the Ripper in it. What? I know, okay? So like this series is so cool, and I'm really excited and wanting to get to the 2nd book soon, because there's gonna be 3 timelines, guys, in it. Not 2, but 3. The girl is gonna have 3 different timelines. I'm so glad I read this, and it's definitely, in my opinion, worth the hype. Yeah, this is definitely a favorite and staying on the shelves, and I'm looking forward to reading the next one. I have 3 of them. The 4th one comes out in November with the one with the pirates, y'all, and I'm ready for that one, so I need to get on it with the 2nd and 3rd one. But I'm like starting to like start series, and I'm like getting overwhelmed because there's so many. I'm glad I recorded this. It was really fun to film it. I definitely want to do more of these. Let me know down below in the comments if you read When the Day Comes or if you're planning to read it soon. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. May the Lord bless you and keep you, and Lord willing, I will see you on the next one.